Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of What's on My Desk. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about two-tone watches. So I brought the Patek 5980 in two-tone, and I bought the Audemars Piguet Bucherer Edition. And at the same token, I brought a Hublot JZ, and this is an all-black ceramic PVD watch. Not a two-tone, but nevertheless, a pretty cool look. And that's what it really comes down to when it comes to two-tone watches. Some people find them to be either corny, or some find them to be a really, really cool looking watch. There's kind of like no in between. You either love it or you hate two-tone pieces. So I'm gonna start off with the 5980 two-tone. Right off the bat, you're gonna notice the striking blue dial on this watch. And I believe it just goes so well with the rose gold and a stainless steel combo. Makes this watch absolutely gorgeous. You sort of get the notion that the entire case is almost gold because pretty much the majority of the space is taken up by the heavy bezel, the side pieces, as well as the buttons, which are all done in gold. The gold markers against the blue work extremely well as well. And the rose gold against the stainless steel, I think, pops just the same. It is an automatic movement, and this watch original sticker price is $62,300, I believe. And what is it selling for today? Guess what? You're not paying anything less than $65,000 right now. We're in an era of Nautilus is becoming super hot again. Right now, there's a huge trend of taking these watches and quote-unquote busting them out or putting on aftermarket diamonds as seen here. So a lot of these guys end up with diamonds on top and getting resold for close to $100,000 for those that are willing to pay the price depending on the quality of the diamonds. But also collectability. Short supply, people deem these things collectibles and they pay through the roof. So, you know, you'll find them online selling for about $68,000, $67,000, $69,000, depends on where you go. Resale value, if you pick this watch up today for, let's say, $65,000 brand new on the secondary market, still expect to get at least $60,000 back for it. Since I'm talking about the whole two-tone topic, there's, as I said earlier, people either hate it or love it. Me personally, I love the two-tone look. It's something different. It's a completely different look from an old gold watch. It's a completely different look from an old steel watch. It's just in a realm of its own. A lot of people will go the two-tone route on various models, whether it's Rolex, whether it's AP, or whether it's Patek Philippe, in order to save themselves a little bit of money. Its sister in rose gold retails around $90,000, so it is a significant savings if you go from an old gold watch versus the two-tone. Oddly enough, the stainless steel Nautiluses have gone through the roof, and they're trading around the $60,000 mark brand new right now, which is about 20 grand over retail. I know it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. If you ask me, I would much rather have the two-tone. And speaking of two-tone, let me show you the Audemars Piguet Bucherer Edition. A striking blue dial. You have the old rose gold bezel. I like the touch of the end pieces against the stainless steel on the strap, but they're also gold. The buckle is stainless steel, automatic movement. Now this watch in itself is no different from any of the other regular editions like the Elephant or the Vampire. Exactly the same watch, just a different dress. Got the ceramic buttons on the side. Again, a striking look. Even if you look at the strap, how it's stitched in that sort of a beige, almost yellowish color that sort of matches up with the rose gold, again, puts together a beautiful combination offshore. A little bit about Bucherer. Bucherer is a fine jewelry and watch store that's been around since 1888. They're all over Switzerland. You can find them in pretty much any major city. They carry all the watch lines to include Audemars Piguet, Rolex, along other brands. They're also very famous for the jewelry that they produce themselves that carries their name. You've seen some of their stuff on the red carpet. They make some of the most gorgeous jewelry in the world. And they're a huge retail and a huge name, probably comparable to guys like WOMD or Cellini in New York. And being a huge retailer, brands tend to make limited editions for them, and this was the limited editions that they made for them. It's the Bucherer Edition. I said limited edition, it's actually called a special edition. You'll see in the back of the watch it says special edition, and the watch is actually not numbers. So nobody really knows how many of those things they made for them. If I had to guess, probably around 500 pieces. Trading value on this watch today, expect to pay about $36,000 to $38,000 for this watch brand new. On the resale end, even pre-owned, this watch will still fetch in a low 30s to even mid-30s, because these things are hard to find. And when you want something that you can't get, whether it's secondhand or whether it's a brand new watch, you're still going to pay top dollar just to get it. Since this watch came out, I believe last year, I only managed to get my hand on about 4 of these. This is the 4th one in, and this watch is actually sold. I pulled it out of the sold bin. Very comparable look and feel to the two-tone Patek in terms of design. Obviously not in terms of its size or how the watch looks, but I'm talking about the two-tone part aspect of it. Let me just put them side by side so you guys can actually take a look. So here's the side-by-side shot. I mean, this could be like a his and hers, or, you know, younger brother, older brother type of deal. Now, why did I bring this Hublot JZ watch to the table, considering I'm talking two-tone watches? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Right now, my girls and guys are out at a trade show, and my vault downstairs is pretty much empty, so it was kind of slim pickings. I found what I could find just to talk to you guys about. And I picked the JZ watch simply because, one, I like Jay-Z. Jay-Z's music is the music I grew up on when I was younger, along with Biggie Smalls and Tupac. And Jay-Z always managed to touch me through his music. During the time of struggles, during the times of growing, during the times of becoming successful, I always was able to relate to him. So whenever there was a Jay-Z watch made, I always liked it because I was biased, because I liked the individual. The first Jay-Z watch that actually ever first came out was the Tria from Audemars Piguet. They made it in stainless steel, rose, and platinum. It came in a huge box with an iPod, and it was pretty cool, actually. And then Hublot decided to bite off of AP, as they usually do, and they picked him up and made this watch for me. Now, this watch was in 2 variations. This is the stainless steel ceramic PVD piece, and they also made one in gold. This is a manual wind watch. Unlike the Bucherer, this is indeed a limited edition. They made 250 of these. And it's not from the Big Bang line, which I think was somewhat of a flop. I kind of wish that they made the Jay-Z Big Bang, not the Classic Fusion. But this came out around the time where they introduced the Classic Fusion, so this was sort of their way of pumping it up with some good celebrities behind it and other ambassadors that they made limited editions for. One of the things that I really like about this watch is extremely comfortable on the wrist, is because it is extremely slim. Look at the size of that. That's probably around the 9mm mark, 10mm mark. And the price, this watch is reasonably priced. It retails for $17,900, which is reasonably priced for a Hublot or any other fancy watch, especially one that carries a big name behind it. On the resale end, unfortunately, not so good. And not because it's Hublot, because everybody says Hublot doesn't resell well. Hublot does resell well, somewhat decent in comparison to others. But Jay-Z is not someone that the entire world can take to as an ambassador. 9 out of 10 guys that are going to like a Jay-Z or are going to like Jay-Z are those that live in the United States, that know Jay-Z, that listen to his music. And even though Jay-Z is popular worldwide, his watches are not going to sell as well, like, let's say, that of Rafael Nadal, who is followed worldwide. A huge tennis player or a huge soccer player has a lot more following than, say, a hip-hop artist from the United States. In fact, most of the pieces that I sold of these, and I've sold quite a few, they were all sold within the United States. Rarely did this watch go out of the country. Nevertheless, it's a great pickup. You can pick this watch up brand new for around $8,500, $9,000, which is around the halfway mark. And for somebody that wants a sort of a slimmer, not as big PVD watch that's cool, it's got a story behind it and a famous person behind it, I think it's a pretty good pickup. Guys, last but not least, I'm going to finish my episode as usual with to show you what's on my wrist. And today I'm wearing an oldie but a goodie. This is the Panerai Daylight watch worn by Sylvester Stallone in the movie Daylight, if you guys remember this. And this is an oldie but a goodie. This is a watch that when it first came out was selling through the roof during the time where Panerais were flying off the shelves, were deemed super collectible, and this was one of those super collectibles to have, especially the white dial. This came in a black dial as well, but the white dial was the most desirable one. They made 500 of these. If they were to make 5,000 at a time, they would sell all 5,000. Again, came out at the right time when Panerai was super hot, fairly new, and this was just the right limited edition. And Sylvester Stallone has been a great spokesman for them. He's worn Panerai in a bunch of other movies. It's something that's very comfortable for a 44mm watch, very versatile. You can go diving, swimming, you can throw it against the wall. It's a very durable watch. Today, before these watches, when they first came out, retail around the $50,000 $5,200 or $5,500 mark. They were selling at least $2,000 to $3,000 over list. Today, you can probably pick one of these up pre-owned for around $4,000 to $4,500, which is still not bad considering how old this piece is. It still carries a huge weight in the collecting community because it's one of the older edition Panerais. Some of the new stuff nobody really cares for anymore. Well, guys, thank you for joining me once again. Remember, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, comment below, let me know what you think. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time for more watch reviews and other videos.